Have you ever thought about journaling, but just trying to figure out how to start? How do you do it? What do you really need? This week's guest, Carolyn Jenkins, wrote a journal and it is called Her Life Lessons in a Clutch. Wanted to make sure I got the title correct. And I am excited because Carolyn is a longtime friend. She has known me as long as I've had this business. So I can't wait to share the conversation on how journaling can impact your life now, but also in the new year. Hello and welcome to Got Clutter, Get Organized, the conversation. I am excited because I have Carolyn Jenkins here. And we were just talking, and Carolyn has known me for at least 30 years. I mean, she
At
knew me
least
at
30
the
years.
beginning when I started this, when it was actually named something else. I still remember that first meeting as well. But Carolyn is here to talk about, she wrote a journal, and I love journaling, and it's called Her Life Lessons in a Clutch. So I am excited. Carolyn, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you, Janet. It is such a pleasure seeing you and seeing you have how you have grown so much in 30 years. I tell you, you look wonderful. The podcast is doing great. You're doing great. I'm excited to be here
Thank you. So,
and nervous.
well, no, you don't have to be nervous. So, really, what inspired you to actually write this is a combination storytelling and journaling in Her Life Lessons in a Clutch. So, what inspired you to do this?
Oh, I tell you, what inspired me to write this as a journal and as well as storytelling. So, first of all, the stories are 15 short motivational stories based on my life story, what has happened in my life. And what inspired me is that I want readers to experience and explore actually not only my journal, but learn how to intertwine their journal or their lives as well. All our stories are lessons. Every time we go through something, good or bad, it's a lesson. It's a lesson. So I wanted this book to become an inspiration as well as a personal tool for growth and to show,
Mm.
it's specifically for women that you're not alone, number one. So you can write your story. So that's what inspired me.
And I like what you said about the inspiration because you also believe, maybe hearing somebody else's testimony can help somebody sometimes feel less alone. It's sort of like when I talk about, I share statistics about organizing. I said, you're not the only person that's disorganized. Look at
That's
these
right.
statistics. So, but share that. Why you think it's so important for us to hear somebody else's
It
testimony.
is important to hear other people's testimony because it lets the other person know you're not facing these challenges alone. They help you to reduce the feeling, number one, of isolation. You feel like it's only me. I don't want to tell anyone. And in my case, being a professional, going through a lot of challenges, and you'll read that in the book, how I overcame depression, how I overcame rejection, and how I wasn't really about self love, about myself. I was embarrassed. You're embarrassed to share those things. You're embarrassed to let someone know that you're going through a hardship and you're making $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
So I want to inspire others. I want them to feel that you're not, again, you're not alone. And I want to give the scripture from the Bible, Revelations
Okay.
12:11, that
Mm-hmm.
states that
Mm-hmm.
they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. We're overcomers. And the only way we'll know that we're overcomers really is to hear somebody else that overcame.
That's true. That's true.
So
That's
that
true.
that really has been like my number one key to the book. When I tell people, when you see that book or when you read it, that is a testament that you can
Mm.
overcome.
Mm. So, what do you see as some of the biggest challenges for today's women? I mean, there's a lot of stuff we're going through. I mean,
Right? Yes.
I
I'm
mean,
sorry,
between
Janet.
life, work, other stuff. So, what do you see as some of the biggest challenges?
We as women in the professional world as well,
Mm-hmm.
we are tasked with multiple expectations. We have families, we are professional, we faith, uh, and then we have other things besides our day to day lives, and we often leave little room for personal renewal. So I feel like one of our biggest challenges that we don't spend enough time on us, on me, on
Mm-hmm.
myself. We're so
Mm-hmm.
focused on how to make a living, how to go to the next, where we got to go to the next meeting, what the next dollar is, where is that coming from, that we lose ourselves. So we need to, in my opinion, stop focusing on productivity sometime and focus on production within our, and prioritizing our own self care. And I write about that in the book as well.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Because, one of the things I try to share with people is I like to walk. And now I'm learning how to really enjoy the walk, enjoy the flowers, or maybe seeing somebody walk a puppy or seeing somebody push a baby, not just trying to think, okay, I got to get this many steps in. I got to get back because then I got to do this, that, and the other. So you're right. We do have to slow down. We have to enjoy things and we have to really, take care of ourselves.
We
So,
do, Janet. I practice mindfulness, and
yep.
that is staying present. Wherever
Mm-hmm.
your hands are, that's where you are to be present. Because we could be in a meeting, and instead of being mindfulness of that meeting, we're all over the place. So, like you, I started walking. I'm not consistent because I know people go be watching this video going, now she knows she don't walk every day. But like you, when you walk, be present, acknowledge the birds. There's times where I've walked and my mind is on my to-do list. I tripped and fell
Oh, okay.
because I'm not paying attention and not paying attention to where I am, being mindful of the trees, the birds, the blue skies, the fact that I'm walking, I'm taking care of me. So yeah, I just wanted to comment on that about the walk.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that
Yeah.
is true. And I think one of the things, and as you were saying, I need to kind of, my goddaughter, she always was into the clouds, and she still is. She will stop and she will look up at the clouds. Sometimes she'll like, oh, I need to take a photo or a video of it. And so, and it's like those things. I mean, she did that when she was like a teenager, and she still does it now. And I think you're right. Sometimes it's that mindfulness. So, how would you suggest somebody to actually use the journal to track their progress? And for those of you watching and listening, it's the holiday season. There's going to be a link so you can order one for yourself, but both personal and professional, but also, when we have to overcome those setbacks.
And I'm glad you mentioned holiday. It's a great way to start the new year with journaling.
Yes.
Make an account, making yourself accountable. But I would suggest that readers should use the journal as their safe space to reflect honestly on their experiences and their achievements, whether they're big or small. I, used to always have to wait to the end of a big achievement, and go, look what I did. But just the fact that I wrote the chapter number one without the book being completed was a small achievement. And so journaling that, putting that in a journal, I could say, hey, I finished chapter one. So, and it's a safe space for you. You don't have to share. I taught school for 10 years, so I teach journaling. So I tell everyone, I'm not giving you a grade on this. I'm not correcting it, your grammar, how you write, spell your words out, any of that. This is your safe space. Your safe space. That's how I want them to use the journal to write down their achievements, their obstacles, because you can go look back and like, wow, look what I came through. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, and you're right because I looked at something and I was like, you know what, I did that. But like you said, we're so used to looking at our to-do list and what we have to do next and everything. And
Exactly.
you're right, it's the small things because I have been really being hard on myself because there was a dresser that belonged to my mother, and I said I was going to refurnish it, do all this and everything, and I kept putting it off. But then I just stripped the paint. Carolyn, you would have thought I had painted the entire. I just stripped the paint. I said I got
Right.
one thing done, and now moving on to the next. So,
Exactly.
do,
Exactly.
in your journal, do you have any prompts or guided reflections, or either, or is this just a free form? You know?
This journal is free form, but as
Okay.
I look back, I wish I would have added some prompts. And what
Okay.
prompts mean,
Okay.
how does your day feel? What is it? What how do you feel today? Write your achievements. So there are blank lines with between each story where if that story resonates with you, you can write how you feel about that story or write about how that story affected you or if you have experienced that particular information. Like self-care. Are you really taking care of yourself? So you have those blank lines to actually write about what you're actually doing, but it's more free form. But what
Okay.
I do realize that I probably should have added prompts because
Okay.
sometimes people who don't journal, I have a lot of people who go, I don't know where to get started. And you're right. You're just looking at these blank lines, like this is what my life is like. It's just blank, So how do I get started? But prompts mean, start with how was your day? What did you achieve today? What are you looking to achieve? Those are prompts. So I'm looking to add that to the next book.
Ooh, did you hear
Yeah.
that, everyone? There's going to be another one. So, how do you hope people will feel maybe a month or so after they really begin to just get into a rhythm of journaling?
That's a good question. It's I know what I want from me, but I
Mm-hmm.
would love for those that are reading the book, they do what's called grounding. So a lot of times I ground. I'll go put my feet in the ground or the sand, and I'm grounding one on one with the earth. I want you to ground one on one with yourself. I want you to
Mm.
be able to ground with your inner voice, your real inner voice. Not the one sometimes that shows up in the Jones in New York suit and the heels and the briefcase. I want the, I want the one that ground. I want you to connect with that one that takes everything. The hair weave and everything else, and the lipstick is gone and the makeup is gone, and like, whoo, right, and you're able to sit and you're right about what actually happened to you that day. How did you feel if you
Mm.
were rejected that day? If you were promoted that day? How did you feel? So, the answer to your question is I want my readers to ground with their inner voice and their inner self in
Mm.
a safe place.
Mm. Mm. So, Caroline, as we wrap up 2025, and I think I still remember saying Happy New Year, but as we wrap up 2025, do you have for the women who use this journal to reflect on how can we set some intentions for 2026? Because
Okay.
I think this is a good time to at least get the thought mind and maybe develop a habit or two. But how do you think we can do that?
Well, I believe in 2025 or any previous year, you should be uncovering the lessons that shaped you in that year. So, what it is that formed me? How did I get to the end of December? What happened from January to December? What lessons have I learned that shaped me, good, bad, or indifferent? So, I'm hoping that through your journaling, you uncover what you need to work on in the following year for 2026. So, you can set your intentions. When you set your
Mm.
intentions, you can say, I did not finish this or I have not, and I don't like to say I did not accomplish it because accomplishment that you may say I'm gonna do this next year, so it's accomplished, it's just not finished yet.
Yeah.
So I started it but I have not finished. So using your journal from a previous year to look at what things you have done, what things you still need to do, and what things you desire to do, you can set those intentions in the following year, and it just keeps going until
Yeah.
you get it done. And then you look back and you be like me, like, you're such a procrastinator. That's all that really is. So now I'm really getting down to the real me,
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I would like for women to answer that. Those lessons that we have learned in the previous year can help them align their intentions in the following year, which would be 2026.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
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 And I see how that can work because a lot of times I will go back, maybe not in I guess it is a kind of journal in my planner and look
Yes.
over stuff and like, oh, I didn't cross that off, I didn't do that, or I did that. And so it is like a reflection
Right.
service.
And it
So
may seem like a lot of work, and it is. I'm not going to sit here and go, oh,
yeah.
it's easy to do, but
Mm,
it creates diligence, it creates resilience, creates consistency. We were talking about that earlier, and it contributes to your self care
mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm,
your professional development. And
mm-hmm.
that's what journaling has been doing for me.
And then I also think it's just a place where sometimes we can just do almost like just a dump, whether it's a mental dump, an emotional
Exactly.
dump, and you said it's a safe place and you don't have to share it. You can just
Exactly.
write things down and just, and
Exactly.
I like the fact that it's free form because, I mean, some people do need structure, but sometimes
Hmm.
when stuff's coming at you, you just need to be able to just put it out
Put it
on
out there.
paper.
Exactly.
So, how can people connect with you? Use your services, but also order the journal or two or three or four because
Yeah.
it's Christmas.
Yes, we want. I tell you, I have a few church organizations that are ordering them for their women's group and giving them as gift, which is a great thing to do. So, and also if I'm teaching a journaling session, they can order the books and have them prior to me attending the session. So online, Barnes and Noble, and you can find her life lessons in a clutch, short motivational stories journal. Okay, I always forget the name, but it's Her Life Lessons in a Clutch by Carolyn Jenkins. My or AKA Lady Carolyn, as I go by. It also can be found on Amazon as well, or you can contact me directly by way of Facebook. My Facebook page is, I believe, it's Lady Carolyn.
Okay. All right. And of course, those watching and listening, I will have all the links, whether you can buy the book or you can reach out to Carolyn directly in the show page notes below. Well, Carolyn, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule just to share about the journal and about the benefits of journaling and I journal. I think I have, I've got a journal here, there, and everywhere. Yes, you are going to see my little disorder, but I have reasons for each journal. So that's the way my mind goes. I have a journal for
Yes,
this and a journal for that.
yes.
So, but thank you so much for your
Thank
time
you,
today.
Janet. Thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing you next again in Philadelphia, maybe.
Oh, yeah. Please
Yeah,
keep me posted.
yes, because I'm on book tour, so I'm excited.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Just definitely keep us posted.
Okay. Thank you. Bye bye.
So, what did you think about my conversation with Carolyn Jenkins? I hope it inspired you to really thinking about picking up that journal and just writing something down, allowing your emotions, your feelings, your thoughts, your wins, your losses just to flow. And also taking that information that she shared, just having a reflection on not only what you have accomplished, maybe what you want to do, so that you can kind of use it as a springboard for 2026. Well, and also making sure that maybe you a few copies of Carolyn Journal for yourself. Well, until next time, I hope you have a clutter-free day and an organized week.